Hey everyone! Happy New Year! Whitney Hammond is going to be joining us any second. She's awesome. I just interviewed her for the very first episode of the Get to Know Her show for 2021. 2021. I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Do you ever look back at high school and think 1983 was not that long ago? I just cannot get over that it's 2021. But you know what? It's going to be a great year. We all know what to expect. We've all had time to reflect. We got to keep the dreams alive. And Whitney today, we had a great conversation all about her and her life and what got her into the finance industry and what it's like to work in a male dominated industry and how she's helping women by giving back. Like, oh my God, it was such a good interview. And she's all about women being financially independent. And she's just amazing. She's awesome. So here she comes. I've got her coming onto the video. Here we go. Here she comes. We just have to wait for a minute and she will be joining us. There she is. See? You're perfect. It's so weird. I just put my camera in a different spot too, and now I'm cutting my head off of it.
Yeah, you're cutting your head off, and I need to be up a bit.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, there we go. Now we're both, look at the talking heads. We look great. Whitney, thank you for today.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, you were amazing. And I was so honored to have you share your whole story. Like, you got really deep with us, which was so generous of you. And I love that you're able to use your story to help other people, because it's not, I mean, it's a painful story. So to be able to say it out loud and help others, it's so generous of you. So I just want to acknowledge that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I think that the lessons that we learn in our lives, like I say, like we're unwinding all of our stories from the past, right? So we're maybe we choose our parents.
Yeah.
Maybe we choose these paths, right? And then we have to overcome the obstacles. But through adversity comes significant advantage. Excuse me. Ask anybody who's really made something of their lives, like what drives them and what catapulted them to get to where they are. And I don't think you're going to find very many white picket fence stories behind those people.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, exactly. And it does, like, it's so hard, because I think it takes a certain amount of time to get to that place where you can now share with others. and I think that's what's so heartbreaking, with human beings, is that there are months and days and years of silence where these things are happening and we're experiencing pain and we're moving through things, but we're not saying anything because we don't know what to do with it. We don't understand it. We don't know what it's going to be.
That's that saying that we have: we're only as sick as our secrets. So if you hold it in and if you don't tell anybody, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody can help you. And as Brittany says, I can see Brittany's watching. No one is going to save you. So
yes,
no one's going to save you in life, but you do have to pipe up and ask for help.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said on the Facebook Live, what you're doing for women, and you're really blazing a trail to show women that, don't be afraid of being successful. Don't be afraid of money. Like, that expression that people say, like, more people are actually afraid of success than they are of failure. And, with success comes great responsibility too, right? But we can handle it.
Oh, yeah.
We can, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's no question. We can take on a lot more than we actually really know about. Carol
Mhm.
Elizabeth is one who says it all the time, is that we're so much more. Like women are so much more. They don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
That's right.
I want to go back to what you said, is that poor people are afraid of success. And I'm going to add to that, successful people are afraid of being poor. And that's the thing that
Mm.
drives them all the time. There's always this fear that they're going to not have enough. They're going to run out. They're going to run out of money. Something's going to backfire. They just keep going and going and going. Don't shoot for mediocrity in life. Shoot for
Yeah.
the best.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that because I think, I was trying to think of my internal dialogue with money before I was going to talk to you today. And I am like that, Whitney. Like my Christmas season this season, thank God. So usually I'm doing this big one of a kind show. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I really upped my game with my social media and getting people involved in new projects and everything. And I've had a more successful Christmas season than when I
Wow.
was doing this huge show. And, a lot of that too also has to do with I don't have those added expenses,
Yep.
but not spending money is also making money, people. So that's what my dad always said.
That's so true. Yeah. Well, if you
Yeah.
manage your expenses, I can tell you too that my overheads were less. They were lower this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I do have some pretty good overheads because I've got staff, a commercial building. I've got like a whole social media thing going. You know, that
Yeah.
costs an arm and a leg. And even with all of that, my overheads were down. So yeah. So when you're not
Right.
spending, you are saving.
For sure. And now I'm at the end of my Christmas season and I've got a better cushion than I have in other years. So there's a part of me that's saying, okay, so why don't you use this time now to really strategically plan out the year ahead instead of jumping into, okay, what am I going to do now to get some money coming in, right? But
Well,
it's
you know
so
what?
hard to break
I
this cycle. It's that fear thing, like you said. It's like, I don't want to run out. I don't want to see this balance go down. Like, I want to,
Oh no, you just have to now you got to build a bridge in your thinking. So I hear what you're
yeah,
saying. So
yeah,
you're used to seeing the savings in this spot, right? And what you have
right.
to do is you've got to rip the chips, take the chips off the table and put them over here and start back at ground zero and build it up. Every year you got to rip money up, take money off the table and put it into something else. So you'll have a balance. You'll just have another balance over here. So because if you keep it in the one spot,
Yeah,
then you're not really building the wealth. You've got to come back to
right.
ground zero. Leave something in your account, but then take the rest out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And then you now have two spots to watch: your bank account and your new investment account.
Yeah, that's great. Now, I know your clients, like you work with very high level clients.
Yep.
But if you were going to give anybody advice who maybe hasn't even started an investment or like even for me, I mean, I grew up on RRSPs. That's all I ever did. I have
Yep.
invested in real estate, but only for myself. I own a home, I own my studio, but I've never gone outside of that and said, now I'm going to buy a condo and get a tenant or, you know, but and then of course we have our TFSAs, which is a great place to invest money. Like where if for someone who like maybe hasn't even done anything and now they've finally got some extra cashola, what would you say is a really good starting point?
Okay, well, first of all, the starting point really starts with your desire. So what you
Okay.
want in your life, right? So if you have a desire to build some wealth, then
Mhm.
that's the start. If you
Okay.
don't have a desire, I'm not going to teach you that. Like, I don't
That's
care.
so funny. Yeah, and I'm
Like,
thinking it
I
doesn't.
mean, honestly, I
Yeah,
don't care. So I don't know
yeah,
those people, but
yeah.
and I'm sure they're out there. But the thing is that it starts with the desire. It starts with the heart, and where to put it. Anywhere but in the same spot of the active bank account that you're using. So get it out of there into what I call a bucket and start
Okay.
creating buckets, right? So this bucket is called my short-term savings. This bucket over here is called my medium-term savings. And this bucket over here is my long-term. Start to put money into different buckets. And what will happen is they will fill. Okay, money will come in,
Right.
and then you'll start filling. And you ask me, well, where does that money come from? Trust me, it comes. So let's just say you have a job and you get paid for 40 hours a week and everything's all the same, and you start that bucket. You will see that subconsciously you will shift. We all do. We shift where we're spending our money, because all of a sudden that crap in 2020 showed us people were wasting money left, right, and center over crap
Mhm.
and drive-throughs and what are those things? Everyone's. Do you know I've never bought a takeout coffee in my life?
Good
I
for
have
you.
never had a Tim Hortons cup of coffee. I've never had a, what's that other one that everyone goes to?
Starbucks.
Yeah, I've never had that stuff. And now I sound like your dad, right? But
No, you know what? I love you so much, Whitney, because I've had those things, but I never go and get one unless I'm with someone who says want to go get it. Like I don't, I make my own, and I have gift cards that people have given me in my wallet because I just don't even think to do it. I'm like, why the hell would I buy a tea or a coffee when I can make it myself? Like I don't.
yeah, so you know,
Yeah,
it's just stupidity.
that
But
is our
if you
upbringing.
take $27 a day, so when
Yeah.
we were outside of COVID, everyone was
Yes.
running around spending money left, right, and center. If you take $27 a day and you just put that in your bank account, a separate one in your bucket, you'll have $10,000 at the end of the year. And $10,000 is what people didn't have when COVID hit. And all of a sudden, the government started to hand out $500 checks every week because nobody had any money. Why? Because they were spending it on all sorts of things that they just swallowed, and you
Yeah.
can say the rest. I mean, it's just a waste. So,
Yeah.
so what I'm saying is, when you start these buckets, they will start to fill, and all of a sudden they become on your radar. They become important to you. They become important enough that you focus and you start putting money into those buckets. And then you really think about where your money goes. Would you believe that I have some people that have buckets of money with me who have never earned more than $40,000 in a year? Okay. And then I have other people that make millions of dollars in a year, and they're coming and going, oh my God, everything is all screwed up. I can, I got to fix all their numbers for them just so we can shave off stuff so we can get some chips off the table. So everybody's got their own story. But what's important is that if you don't have some type of savings, again, 2020 was a perfect year. What are you going to do when the shit hits the fan? So for my generation, your generation, our parents taught us this. Like, we didn't get government handouts. Like, when stuff happened, like we had to make things work, right? Now, I don't know about other people if they can live on $500 a month. I certainly can't. But you know what? Here's full disclosure, okay? So I own 4 properties. I own an airplane. I am an active person, and I can make my personal lifestyle. I can make it on $5,000 a month. Okay, can I make it every month on $5,000 a month? No, not every, because sometimes I have an airplane annual that comes out of another budget. But for me to live, I live like a queen at $8,000 a month, and people would say, "Are you kidding me? My husband and I, we make 8,000. We don't have any of that shit." Well, why? Talk to me, because I can show you how to do it. You don't need to have buckets of money to create buckets of money. You just need to have a heart and an attitude of, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm sick and tired of living like this anymore. Show me how I can clean up this mess. And every mess can be cleaned up. You just have to want to. And if you don't want to, fine. That's fine. You can keep living in your stuff. Just don't complain about it.
Wow. That's great. I know, I mean, and I realize this isn't your area of expertise, or not that you don't know about it, but it's not something you work in. For I know my dad would always say it's good to, and this isn't the part, but it's good to borrow to invest, like borrow, get the
Yep.
cheap money and then make money from it. Um, and then there are people I know who have like credit card debt. They've done things that are like desperate because they needed the money because they didn't have the 10,000 sitting. So then they'll have like a credit card that sits around with a balance for years and years, right?
Yeah. You don't want
Which
that.
sucks.
So
No.
there's good debt, and there's
Yeah.
bad debt. And the same thing as a business owner, like there's
Yeah.
expenses and there's expenditures, right? And so are you
Yeah.
spending money to because it's going to make money, or are you spending money because you're wasting money? So
Mhm.
so here's rule number one, right? And I'm telling you, I don't finance stuff. Like, so on my credit card, and my kids are the same, my daughters are the same way. When we buy something on our credit card, it's paid. It's paid by the time the due date comes, or it's paid prior. If you do
Mhm.
not have the money to pay for it, don't buy it. The world will keep spinning on its axis and no one's going to
Yeah.
go to shit, right? So
Yeah.
if you live within your means, so don't be going out and buying boats and planes and cars and all sorts of crap that you can't afford, right? You buy a
Yeah.
cottage, you pretty much pay that cottage off in cash when you get it, or just don't get it, right? Save up,
Right.
figure out ways. But the leveraging, there is good leverage, and that does work, and that's actually how many people do become wealthy. And how we do that leverage, we leverage our home that we live in the beginning. We buy a house and then we pay off the mortgage. We buy a cottage and we pay off that mortgage, or we leverage into the stock market, and that's a big thing too. Especially right now, rates are really really low, and so for investors. Stock options, people are leveraging and exercising their stock options. There's a lot of things that can be done, but it depends on, again, what your goal is and what your heart is and what your risk tolerance is. And so,
Yeah.
we have a new way of thinking today where it's like, why should we have all this money in our real estate when we could have it invested somewhere else? And so the answer to that is to decide on what your own asset allocation is. I mean, I'm not going to go out and start financing all my real estate because I want to go and put it in the stock market. I like my money in my real estate. I really do. It's safe. It's here, right? Yep. Stock
Mhm.
market. I have lots of money in the stock market, and I'm happy with that too. And I have a lot of money in permanent cash value life insurance, right? Because that's making me 4% every year compound, a ton of money in there. And I love it, right? So the deal is
Yeah.
everything is growing, and you don't just have it in one thing. And if you do want to leverage out and buy something, then leverage it out and pay it down, or make sure that you can leverage it and carry those interest payments, and you can write those interest payments off of your tax return. Don't do that stuff on your own. Do it with somebody. Do it with somebody who you trust, and somebody
Yeah.
who you can ask what their assets are. So, for example, if you go into work with a financial advisor, ask them to show you the net worth statement. See how fast they can pluck that off their computer. I can do mine with a
Okay.
push of a button. And if they can't do that, you may not want to be with that person, okay? Because there's
Okay.
people in my industry that are messy.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And for somebody who isn't like at the level to work with someone like you, would you say like working with their person at the bank, like opening up a TFSA account, and
Well,
is
it's
that a
not so
good
much
way?
about product, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't work that way. I'll give you a true example. There was a
Mhm.
girl who came to me from one of the Wallet to Wealths, and she didn't have any savings, and she wanted to be in the game. And so I started with her during COVID, and it's amazing. And she has made, like last time I checked, she made 30% on her money. And the thing is that all she had was the heart and the desire. And it's not about, we're going to open you up this, we're going to open you up that. My deal is, I'm going to get you from here to here. Okay. I'll pick the
Okay.
stuff. Like, I'll pick the accounts, I'll pick the products, I'll pick the tax stuff. Like that's my job, right? So if
Right.
you go to the bank, you're right, you'll just get some silly TFSA and you'll get no conversation about anything. And you'll be like, well, I don't know what that is, right? So yeah,
Right.
no,
Yes,
we work on
exactly.
what the dream is. What's the dream? Where do you want to go? And this
Yeah.
girl, she had, she didn't want to be like her mom. She did not want to raise her daughter in what she was raised in. It was like, fine. I can get you there. I have no problem. But I don't need to tell you all the different products that are here on the planet. But what I can tell you is I'll get you there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So to work with you, Whitney, like what do you look for in a client? Like
Well, so here's the
is
deal. In my
Mhm.
company, it's always been by referral only, and we've been horribly strict on that, where we just don't take any phone calls. So I've talked this year, because there's so much social media going on, I'm going to have to change the deal. So I'm
Okay.
going to have to rip my referral off the web page and start taking people in. I do have a team around me, and we're working long hours, and everybody
Mhm.
works under my principles. So um, for me, somebody who works with me has to just really have the heart and the soul and the desire. And I'm smart enough to figure out in 5 seconds whether I want to work with somebody or not. And it's
Yeah.
like that story I told you about the girl. She said she didn't want to raise her daughter the same way that she was raised. I hear that. I get it.
Hmm.
And so, you know what? I change her life. Do I turn her into a multimillionaire? I don't know. But what I do is I do change her life. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
looking for, is that I'm only interested in working with people that I can change their life, calm their fears, and get them to where they want to go. The
That's amazing.
difficulty with dealing with banks, and I have nothing against banks whatsoever, is unfortunately they just don't have the time to do the deep planning, because this is your life. Like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
your life. This is the most important thing. Unfortunately, it's the most important thing to people, is their
Mhm.
money. And
Yeah.
you need to be able to sit with somebody who gets it and thrives on it, and who can get it all organized for you and then get you on a
Mhm.
path, because then it becomes my job. I take care of it. And
Yeah.
it's not just the account. It's the non-tangible goals that we're trying to reach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. That's fascinating. I love it.
Yeah.
You're amazing. You're like a Wonder Woman, girl. We got to get you a cape. And I
Thanks.
love, you know what? I see you almost every morning when I drive to the studio. I see you on the side of the bus.
Oh,
And
my
it
bus.
makes me so happy.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
glad those are still getting seen during COVID. I'm like, costing me
Yeah.
some money, those buses.
Yeah. Well, it's good too because it goes up and down the main roads, and there's lots of people living on those main roads and sitting on their porches or whatever they're doing. So you might be getting better visibility because people are at home looking at the window, wondering when they can go out again.
That can be, that can
Yeah, that's
be.
good.
So,
Yeah.
but I just encourage everybody to set their buckets up and just save. Just put
Yeah.
a little bit of money away, and it'll, like, just when you were a kid trying to save your paper route money to go to the store and buy a
Yeah.
chocolate bar or a donut or something.
Yeah, it's great advice. Oh my gosh, I love it. Whitney, thank you for all your time today.
You're
You're
welcome.
amazing. What have you got going on for the rest of the day now? Clients,
Work,
probably.
yeah, clients. I
Yeah,
have client. I
yeah,
blocked our time, and yeah, that's the other thing too. Is my day and evening is client appointments. So I won't take anybody in unless they have regular appointments with me,
yeah,
because I want to. My job is to get the person to their goals. So
yeah.
yeah, and
Great.
you know what? The one thing that's constant in life is
Hmm.
change. People's
Yes.
lives are changing. Oh, and you know what we didn't mention earlier, and I just
Mm.
want to just give, this is really important.
Yeah.
People review your life insurance. And if you don't know how to review your life insurance, ask for help. And I will help you with that, because we do a significant amount of death claims every year in my practice. And we just don't take that for granted, because it is messy when somebody dies. Doesn't matter what level of wealth you're at, it's very messy. And the life insurance is the first thing that will hit the household. And that
Okay.
is, as soon as you sign your name to that claim form, you're going to have
Mhm.
your check in about 3 days. So, and don't have your mortgage insured through the bank. You have your
Mhm.
mortgage insured through a life insurance company, with a human being, not online, with a human being who will underwrite that properly for you, get all your
Okay.
medical questions lined up properly for you. Because when there is a death, and it's always untimely, it is messy.
Okay.
So
Great
don't
advice.
ever use the thing like, oh, when I die, I'm going to have so much money, it doesn't matter. Well, let me tell you, I got more than you, and I've got $14 million of life insurance. So what does that say? It says that
Yeah.
I believe in that more than the assets that I own. And I own that
Wow.
insurance. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great advice. Okay. You're amazing.
Yeah.
I
Thanks for
love it.
having me.
Oh, Whitney, thank you. I had so much fun with you. I could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we will talk soon again. You got to go do your thing.
Yep. And we're going to be
And
talking about bracelets for Wallet to Wealth. And I think that's a fabulous idea. And
yeah.
my God, I need more hours in the day. Like, I wish we didn't have to sleep. Like, you know, you want a
I,
pill so you don't have to eat, and take a pill so you don't have to sleep. Because, like, I
I
just
know.
keep coming up with ideas. And that's what I love about you, is that you just have ideas after ideas.
I know. I was actually this morning, I was talking to my supplier where I get the Swarovski, and I'm like, okay, we need to talk and it was about you.
Oh, you
And
know
they were like,
what?
oh,
That's
this
the
sounds,
investment. The investment has to be, somebody has to buy all the Swarovski crystal and put it here
yeah,
in Canada. All of it.
yeah,
It's like we all
exactly.
have to get our money together and buy those crystals, right? Because if this is it, if this is the
I,
end of the crystal world, we need to buy it out.
yeah, I agree. I'm going to miss them so much.
Oh, that's awful. Well,
Yeah,
so there you go. You can take all your money that you have saved up, and you can go buy those crystals. And I like what's cool, because I bought the Advent calendar from you for next year. I bought,
that's right.
so you know what? I can't believe. So I mean, I'm a non-jewelry human being.
Yeah.
And because I'm not creative in that area, and I bought the
Oh,
Advent calendar where there's a piece of jewelry every single day for
yeah.
25 days in December in a little box. So
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait.
The best December ever next year. Yeah. Aw, thanks, Whitney. You
Okay.
have a wonderful day, and I'll be tagging you all over the place, so get ready.
Okay, good.
Okay. Have a
Okay, we'll
great
see you.
one.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Wasn't she great? Make sure you watch the interview. I will be uploading it later today, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy New Year, and welcome back to reality. We'll talk soon. Go easy on yourself. Bye.